Next chapter, chapter 3, is decision analysis. In this chapter, we're going to look at first a single stage decision model. That is, you have a problem and you have to make a decision. And that is, we're going to look at an approach called decision tables. Then we're going to take a look at multi-stage decision process. So that would be you make one decision based on the outcome of that decision, then you need to make another decision and so on. And both conditions in both cases, the single stage and the multi-stage, we look at uncertain possible outcomes of decision. Okay? Each decision may have several possible outcomes, and how do we analyze those outcomes and then come up with some reasonable and analytical solution to the problem. So here is what we're going to be covering. We will look at a 6-step decision making process, the types of decision making environments, and how to analyze the decision model under uncertainty. Then decision making when risk is involved. Then we will look at we will be solving all this using Excel. Then we look at decision trees. That would be when you make decisions, multi-stage decisions. There is not a good something that we can use in class decision tree software for Excel. The ones that are available are very expensive, and they do offer trial periods, but it's like a week or 2 weeks. I don't know whether that's really a good idea. But I have a website where open source website, and that has a very good software. And so we will use the web cloud-based software as service decision tree model. So we will be using that. Okay, so that's the plan. So let's start with the 6-step decision making process, and let's go ahead and look at an example here instead of just reading the 6 steps. The first one is defining the problem. Okay, so here we have a company, Thompson Lumber Company. They're considering expanding the manufacturing and marketing a new product. So on the product they call it backyard storage sheds. So that's the problem. Okay, so what do we want to introduce a new product, and the alternatives, the second step, are we can construct a large new plant, or construct a small new plant, or not develop a new line at all. So do nothing. So those are the 3 alternatives. They have developed that. So list of alternatives. Come up with a list of alternative decisions to choose from. And identify, the third step is identify possible outcomes for each of those alternative decisions. This is called state of nature in this decision table approach. They call it states of nature. Okay, that is what's going to happen. We don't know, uncertain future. So the market could be favorable for the new product, or market could be unfavorable. So these are the 2. Okay, there could be several states of nature, but for our purposes in this example, let's consider that the future market has 2 possible outcomes. The market will be favorable for us for our new product, or unfavorable for new product. So step 4 is, now that we have come up with the alternatives and what the possible future states of nature are going to be, now let's go ahead and develop what are the possible outcomes for each of those 3 decisions under the 2 possible future scenarios. So conditional values for the profit for the large plant, if it is favorable, unfavorable; small plant, if it is favorable, unfavorable. Of course, if you're not going to do anything, then the outcome is nothing. So that payoff is already known. So now we have the financial input data. So now we have to analyze and come up with a decision model, okay, depending upon our uh, our depending upon our ability to take risk, and we'll talk about each of those in just a little bit, and then we apply the model. So that's your step 6. So we have the data already available, so that's here. So 3 possible alternatives, 2 possible states of nature, and these are the financial outcomes. 200,000 profit if we construct a large plant and the market is favorable, otherwise we lose $180,000. If we construct a small plant, we make $100,000 if it's favorable market, or we lose $20,000 because we start constructing a small plant. So our downside risk is smaller than if we build large plant and we end up with unfavorable market. And do nothing is of course 0 and 0. So now let's head over to Excel and look at what are the different possible ways to analyze this problem.